Hello and welcome to this week's Africa Today News Weekly Roundup. I am Favor Aham, and these are the breaking news that took over the world, Africa and Nigeria. Portugal confirms Palestinian statehood recognition. Trump imposes a $100,000 fee on skilled worker visa applicants. Washington and Beijing agree on keeping TikTok in US. China enters UN Top 10 Innovation Rankings. Mamdani, New York City mayor candidate, endorsed by Governor Hochul. Trump substitutes for Fed Governor Lisa Cook. Nigeria introduces Mandarin as foreign language in schools. State of emergency in Rivers State ends as IBAS transfers to Fubara. HBO drama series The Pit sweeps the Emmy Awards. Maradona lawyers' assets, sisters ordered seized by court. International news is where we begin. In Europe, Portugal reaffirmed that it would accept a Palestinian state, the newest Western country to change Middle East policy as the war in Gaza rages on endlessly. The statement, made in advance of the UN General Assembly in New York, was followed by similar signals from France, the UK, Canada, and Australia. Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, condemned the move as a reward for terror, and Washington reiterated that charge, saying that approval risked undermining fragile peace efforts. From the US, Donald Trump, the United States President, released a new executive order charging applicants to the H-1B visa worker program for highly skilled workers a $100,000 per year fee. Trump said the system has been abused, but opposition critics feared it would undermine U.S. competitiveness in science and technology. In a reversal of this, Trump also announced a gold card priority visa costing £1 million in initial fees, which will provide favored applicants with rapid access to the U.S. The double moves triggered quick responses from Silicon Valley leaders such as Elon Musk, who said skilled immigration was still crucial to innovation. World innovation rankings have also changed significantly as China entered the United Nations top 10 most innovative nations for the first time at the expense of Germany. Switzerland, Sweden, and the United States retained the top 3 positions, but the survey showed that international R&D spending is slowing down, which has been triggering concerns about resilience in the economy. China did have its record share of almost a quarter of global patent filings in 2024, reflecting its sharply rising research and development. In the meantime, Washington and Beijing have found common parity as a pact was established to ensure TikTok's survival in the US. President Trump's direct participation in negotiating with Chinese authorities was greeted as being responsible for brokering the pact, described as an omen for a long-awaited summit of Trump and Xi. The pact ended a years-long campaign that had existed to push the app's prohibition from life. Back in New York politics, Governor Kathy Hochul endorsed Democratic Socialist Zohran Mamdani in the city's mayoral race. Her decision rattled both progressives and moderates. The left pressed for tax hikes on the wealthy to fund Mamdani's ambitious platform, while business donors expressed alarm. President Trump threatened to cut federal aid to New York if Mamdani wins, while Democrats in vulnerable districts scrambled to distance themselves from his campaign. Trump also battled the Federal Reserve in an unprecedented bid to oust Governor Lisa Cook, a Biden appointee. Lower courts thwarted the effort, and the Trump administration petitioned the Supreme Court for an emergency stay. Cook promised she would not be bullied out of office, and experts cautioned that the melodrama risked seriously undermining the Fed's long-standing independence. Now we move over to get news from Africa and Nigeria, where Nigeria has taken a step forward in restructuring its education by endorsing Mandarin Chinese as a foreign language subject in senior secondary schools from the 2025-2026 academic year. Officials stated that the move added to French and Arabic was intended to make students more competitive globally. While many embraced this development, critics cautioned that more significant structural problems in Nigeria's education sector were not touched. In Rivers State, politics changed as Vice Admiral Ibot Ete Ibas handed over to Governor Siminalayi Fubara, making the end of 6 months of emergency rule. The decree that had been issued in March after a political crisis was revoked at an earlier time this week by President Bola Tinubu. The Rivers State Assembly resumed service in Port Harcourt the following day, and it was the cue for civilian rule to return to the state. In other parts of the continent, Argentinian courts directed the freezing of assets of the former lawyer of late football icon Diego Maradona and two of his sisters in a case of fraud, driving disagreements over the assets of the football icon. Take examine again stories remaking our world. I am Favor Aham, wishing you a great week ahead.